Welcome to the Big Brain Time Debate Podcast. Things are getting pretty dangerous here. I've got orange juice. I've got toothpaste. Kyle, what's happening here?
Well, in the matter of a true style debate, I'm the judge in this one, and it's going to be Seth and Ira going up against each other, battling it out. And whoever's the loser has to brush their teeth and then drink orange juice and suffer.
Are you ready, Ira?
I'm ready.
What is your first argument?
Well, we haven't even stated what the debate is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
You may know the advertisement icon, the Kool-Aid Man. He bursts through walls and screams, "Oh yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Oh yeah!" So, there's a problem. What is he? There's two major components here, the glass and the liquid. Now, there is one commercial that presents him as being a face that can transfer himself different places. I think we can probably safely ignore that one. He's either a jar or he's a liquid.
Well, I would say he is definitely the jar.
But he's so clearly the Kool-Aid.
Now, listen, you know the jar shape, right? That is an iconic shape. In fact, that shape goes all the way back to a commercial back in the 1950s, where I think that was probably like the first introduction of that shape with his face upon it. Can you imagine the Kool-Aid Man being in any other glass? Like, just think about that for a second. Like, would you immediately recognize the Kool-Aid Man just by a basic glass with a face and red Kool-Aid in it? No, you wouldn't. It's that iconic shape of the jar that makes the Kool-Aid Man.
You fool. You have trapped yourself by bringing up that 1950s commercial. Because in that commercial, the pitcher is tiny. There's no arms, there's no legs. And we still completely recognize it as the Kool-Aid Man. Ever seen the Kool-Aid Man running around being blue or green?
It's always the shape of that pitcher, no matter the size. I mean, we could just say that the 50s version was just the baby Kool-Aid Man. I mean, that's like, the most early iteration. It's practically his origin story right there. He starts off as just a small baby pitcher and grows into this massive literally wall-breaking pitcher that is pretty much just him, because he is that pitcher, not the liquid inside. I mean, we see Kool-Aid splashing out of him all the time. It's not like the liquid's always consistent within him.
There is always liquid there, though. We never see him without liquid, at least not that I've seen in any of the commercials. The closest we've seen him as fully water, adding liquid. So I think that liquid is actually a primary component. Our bodies regenerate themselves, and by the same logic, the Kool-Aid Man may have to regenerate his physical form, the Kool-Aid.
Yes, but tell me, what happens to that little? If we're just assuming that the liquid is the Kool-Aid Man, what happens to those pieces of him that just fly outside? Are they semi-independent, all of a sudden, little Kool-Aid Mans? Does every individual drop hold a piece of the Kool-Aid Man's consciousness in that case? Are we assuming that the Kool-Aid Man is a collection of tiny droplets of Kool-Aid consciousness that all coalesce into one form known as the Kool-Aid Man? Like, is that what we're assuming here? Or is it simply just the pitcher with the Kool-Aid inside that, he can just lose and regain at will, but is not an important part of his being? It is an important part, but it's not essential to defining who he is.
Yeah, I'd say the consciousness is the liquid, right? That is where the consciousness is stored. And you're saying, well, it's splashing around. Let's just say your brain, your head, your skull was cut, and your brains were just exposed, and sometimes bits fly out. It's parts of your consciousness flying out of your head, in a sense.
If parts of your brain are just flying out, you're slowly losing parts of yourself.
Yes.
Like, you know, people can live with only like a part of their brain. We've had that happen before in some remarkable cases. But they lose essential parts of themselves. Like, but the Kool-Aid Man always stays the same, no matter how much liquid is splashing out onto poor hapless children.
I know those commercials. Those commercials made me feel slightly uncomfortable.
Think about Wolverine or Deadpool, some of these like Marvel comic book characters who have regenerating consciousnesses. If you just like shot a bullet through Wolverine, yeah, Deadpool has more regeneration. So through him, bam. Even if some brain flies out, it's still gonna reform.
I mean, like you get some comic circumstances where, you know, you get the head cut off, and then like what happens? Does the head grow a new body, or does the body grow a new head, or does both happen? And then you get like two Wolverines, which is it gets convoluted real quick.
Like an amoeba.
One of my biggest arguments is the Cyan Twist commercial. Have you seen the Cyan Twist Kool-Aid commercial?
Reiterate it for me, just in case.
Well, you see, and this is a bit of a leap, but the Kool-Aid Man is being experimented on by a mad scientist.
Like Frankenstein style?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yes.
Yeah, it's all very Jekyll and Hyde, and he gets an injection of green Kool-Aid. All of a sudden, there is a new personality. Similarly, we never see the glass affected, but we see what happens when the liquid is affected, and it very clearly has direct physiological and emotional changes for him. We never see any kind of change like that from the glass. The glass seems to be more like a mech suit. I guess what I'm arguing here is the Kool-Aid Man is a mecha. Pacific Rim really should have included him, except that he would get a lot of seawater in his head.
I can, you know what? I can see the movie posters now. Godzilla versus Mecha Kool-Aid Man.
And Big Bird the Kaiju.
Big Bird.
That's the end credit scene they're gonna have in Godzilla versus King Kong. Just the Kool-Aid Man comes out.
Yeah.
One problem with that specific commercial that you mentioned, the Frankenstein commercial, is that was a dream sequence. That was not the reality that was happening outside. So we don't know if that would have been the actual effect of pouring cyan Kool-Aid into the Kool-Aid Man. And then I'm going to reference another commercial here where you see the Kool-Aid Man apparently just getting ready for the day. He steps out of the shower and he has no color at all. But he has the liquid, but with the several different flavors, he simply refers to them as like putting on like a different pair of pants. So in that circumstance, the flavors have absolutely no effect on his personality. It is more of a clothing choice.
What you see inside the Kool-Aid Man at the beginning of that commercial is the truest form of Kool-Aid. Yes, it is transparent, and yes, he can add different flavors and colors to it. But on the inside, that's not water. That is pure Kool-Aid, and pure Kool-Aid Man contains the consciousness of the Kool-Aid Man, who, in some of the older commercials, is only called Kool-Aid. Children just yell, "Hey, Kool-Aid!" And then he just goes, "Oh yeah!" Like that. Thank you for the demonstration, Kyle.
You're welcome.
So how do you explain the fact that the Kool-Aid Man can apparently just drink himself? Like one commercial specifically has a woman asking, like, why would you need to have a drink external Kool-Aid? Why can't you just drink out of your own head? And he's just like, well, it would be weird if, I just drank out of my own head. Thus implying that that liquid is not important. That's just like Kool-Aid that he has that he can just drink in if he didn't think it would be socially awkward for him to do so. Why would he need to add a new flavor if he can't dump out the previous day's liquid? You can't just run Kool-Aid. At least I don't think you can just run Kool-Aid through a filter and get like fresh Kool-Aid, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But
I'm trying to think the last time I had Kool-Aid. I think it was at a wedding. I don't remember.
What a cool wedding!
No. It was an open house. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, I wouldn't mind having a wedding where it's just Kool-Aid.
Dude, I would not mind either. It'd be a Pepsi and Kool-Aid. The end.
In that commercial, the woman says, "But You are Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid Man does not refute this. All right, so I have one closing argument here. I have two closing arguments here. Is this toothpaste or is it a tube? Toothpaste. Is this orange juice or an orange juice container? Probably say it's orange juice. Sorry, that was weak sauce. Kool-Aid Man is what in the literature world would be referred to as a Christ figure. He's, especially in the newer commercials, he is always giving his blood. We always see him with children too. That's a very common artistic motif. Kyle, don't give me that look.
Gosh, just looks
Dude, I am trying to follow you as the judge here, but it's not helping.
And Kool-Aid Man. is
Keep going, keep going.
the children. And that's all ruined if he's just a jar.
Well, maybe it's not that, he's trying to give himself to the world, is that he is the jar, the great vessel to deliver the Kool-Aid, which is not him, but which is something that, he's like the prophet of Kool-Aid, basically. Bringing the Kool-Aid itself, which is on a much higher level than just a simple conscious being could ever hope to achieve, and our great Kool-Aid Man, the jar that holds the holy Kool-Aid, it brings it to the world. To go along with the religious metaphor.
So Kyle,
Seth, you did an excellent job. I was on your side for like half the thing there. I was like, oh, Seth is making some big arguments here. I like this. Ira brought me around.
all right.
So
The reckoning.
are you doing this live?
Apparently.
Well, folks. Hope you're enjoying this. Get a live performance on this.
Just because I'm extra?
Of course.
Oh my god!
I didn't bring a spit jar. How bad is swallowing toothpaste?
I mean,
Don't die.
Okay.
Okay,
Ugh, glad my retainer case was nearby.
there you go.
Italio.
Cheers.
oh boy.
You okay? Oh no, he's still going. Oh, he's going the whole thing.
I'm going the whole thing.
Gosh, he became a
Well
smoker.
then.
I will lose with dignity.
He's gracefully taken the punishment. How do you feel, Seth?
All right.
See you guys.
See ya.